You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. TIZ demand for fired Health Minister CHILUFYA'S prosecution. PF CADRE Innocent KALIMANSHI denies ever defaming AILING Home Affairs Minister KAMPYONGO. Government maintains 18th January 2021 as date for reopening of schools amid protests from parents. In international news, Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, through his senior press secretary, accuses Facebook of seeking to influence Thursday's general election. And in sports news, Forest Rangers move into top 4 as NAPSA starts age prison Leopards. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television for non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage. Zambia needs Camnet television for national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia. Watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on GOVT and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel. Monday, 11th January 2021 on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chilua as he hosts a vibrant, young, creative, self-motivated leader, Mulenga Sata. You can participate on the program through phone calls, text and Zoom. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga. Residents of Mushindano district in northwestern province have bemoaned the poor state of the Solwezi-Kipushi road. Mr. Kasamu Katoba has revealed that they are taking 2 days on a road distance of 120 kilometers, which is supposed to be covered in 2 hours. He said the road to Kipushi border becomes impassable during the rainy season, thus calling authorities to enhance maintenance works. Meanwhile, the contractor China State Construction Company early last year had received 27 million kwacha from government towards the road project. The company is still on the site working on the bad patches to make the road passable while waiting for the end of the rain season. The 120 kilometers Solwezi-Kipushi road leads to the border with the Democratic Republic of Congo through Mushindano district is estimated to be constructed at a total cost of 1.3 billion kwacha.
Bamwata kuno kuntu kumushindamu musebo wakira mukuwama nga twarabira tuwabipa n'inshi twatompora nga mwafuma mukafura bungao kuisa mu menshi munika mu mushindamo nangu moto ka driver ishibiro kwensho kwa musango shani kipanga no kujomba kabiringa mwafika paki amato kwati muleza kukafura bunga kujana kwena musebo panonga mwafika pamene pa mushindamo pa musebo wire kwa mfumu bakiko ba musagana bakikoro kwa kare bamwata 2 days 3 days penkapa ya mulikere bamazembyo kufuma mu rwenge ebare ya mukudonse myotoka ero bamuno okwenda pano ku yakuboda ifi efire kichikwa kuno wankinga wa onda no waru apanshi tetu fore pona taya ati ndi musebo takuri bamwata insapato ni kumaboko nga wafika kureya ero wasamba wafare insapato pakoya kuchipwiro kupinda insapato kumaboko nga wafika pa wipine chipwiro wasamba pakirambe ero wafare insapato pano wa musonga pakipwiro bamwate fili musebo kumushinda.
The Transparency International Zambia TIZ has recommended to the state to open up investigations against fired Health Minister CHILUFYA to ascertain the full extent of the corruption at the ministry during his tenure of office. TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe, in a statement to Camnet TV News, says should Dr. CHILUFYA be found wanting, he must be prosecuted and face the law. Mr. Nyambe says dismissing Dr. CHILUFYA should be the end to the ministry's corruption scandals, saying there are several layers to the scandal. TIZ, through Mr. Nyambe, has called for a full investigation to be carried out into all the layers of the honeybee scandal in order to get to the bottom of the issue and to hold everyone that was involved accountable for their actions. Dr. CHILUFYA was fired from his government position by President Edgar Lungu following mounting pressure over the perceived corrupt activities at the ministry. More in this report.
On Sunday, President Edgar Lungu fired Health Minister Dr. CHILUFYA and replaced him with Minister of Water, Sanitation and Environmental Protection, Jonas Chanda. President Lungu also appointed nominated Member of Parliament Lafeo Nakachinda as Minister of Water and Sanitation. There has been a raging outcry from the public following Honeybee's appearance before the Parliamentary Committee, where a financial scandal involving the supply of $17 million worth of medicine was unearthed by the Auditor General's Office and probed further by the Parliamentary Accounts Committee. It has been established that Honeybee supplied leaking condoms, gloves, and substandard medicines, thus endangering people's lives. TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe says law enforcement agencies must open investigations into Dr. CHILUFYA'S role in Honeybee scandal.
We would also expect that the two permanent secretaries should probably suffer the same fate as well, so that we can have a proper investigation into what really transpired, because Zambians still need answers.
Medical for Quality Healthcare in Zambia Director General Dr. Queens Mwabu says the gesture should be extended to other officials.
However, we would like the President to extend the axe to two permanent secretaries in the Ministry of Health and two directors, the one from Medical Stores and one from Zamra, for being negligence and incompetence.
Hope for Africa International Executive Director Chazingwa Daka also shared similar views.
The stance by the President to fire Dr. CHILUFYA is a step in the right direction in restoring the lost confidence by both Zambians and donors at large. As you might be aware, this ministry has been occupying space in the media for wrong reasons. May we take this opportunity to challenge the President to consider calls from the many Zambians demanding for the removal of Home Affairs Minister after the use of excessive force by the police that led to the death of Nsama, a state prosecutor, and Joseph Kaunda.
Dr. Kefas Mukuka is Movement for Multi-Party Democracy spokesperson.
And the repercussion of these three substandard items is very serious. We don't know how many people may have used the said substandard items which are in circulation. The question I want to pose is this: are we sure that the Ministry of Health has got capacity to compensate the people who will be injured along the way? Even as I speak right now, I could be a victim of any one of these three substandard items which are in circulation. So we are now, with the mandate given to us by the Zambian people to speak on their behalf, we now demand that the Anti-Corruption Commission, without fear or favor, should make a serious follow-up, because common knowledge will tell you that CHILUFYA was not working alone.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
And iSanitize has also welcomed the dismissal of the NAPSA central lawmaker CHILUFYA following a financial scandal involving the supply of health kits worth 17 million United States dollars. iSanitize Executive Director Jacqueline Chishimba says it is disheartening to note that colossal sums of money are being embezzled, yet schoolgirls continue to suffer menstrual poverty with little attention and resources accorded to their plight. She says it is a fact that most menstruating schoolgirls in Zambia would rather stay home than being uncomfortable, inactive and embarrassed due to inadequate menstrual health management facilities. This occurrence has continued to record high numbers of schoolgirls, dropouts and early marriages. Ms. Chishimba says the way condoms are being distributed should be the same way sanitary towels should also be distributed to a girl child, as they hinge on the girl child's welfare. And moving on in the news, President Edgar Lungu has instructed newly appointed Minister of Water, Sanitation and Environmental Protection, Raphael Nakachinda, to look at ways of improving the water sector in the country. Speaking when swearing in Mr. Nakachinda this morning, the president says water harvesting, among other ways of preserving the commodity, needs to be implemented and enhanced. The president also tasked Mr. Nakachinda to look at water and sanitation projects currently underway at his new ministry and see how best they would be completed and be of the benefit to the Zambians. And Mr. Nakachinda has pledged to hit the ground running to ensure that works at his ministry are done in time to serve Zambians. Mr. Nakachinda says water, being an important aspect of life, is a critical that should be harnessed. He notes that access to clean water can contribute effectively to mitigating the effect of the now global pandemic COVID-19. He has further pledged to effectively work to improve aspects of the ministry that are still lagging behind.
The template is already in place. Mine is to hit the road running, to implement, of course, the programs that have been undertaken to have the vision of His Excellency, particularly in that sector, actualized without leaving anyone behind. I've only got a short at it for 2 months. I'll do my level best, and I hope that within this short period of time, we can be able to achieve some results that will be able to benefit the Zambian people. Of course, it's a trying period with the pandemic, and water being one of the critical resource that is required for us to mitigate the effect of the COVID-19. So those are some of the areas we'll be able to undertake. But more obviously, as we get into the office and settle down, we'll be able to engage the Zambian people. Thank you very much.
Ministry of General Education Permanent Secretary Jobix Kalumba says schools will reopen on the 18th of January 2020 as earlier communicated by his ministry. The Permanent Secretary says his ministry is ready for the reopening of schools despite the spike in the number of COVID-19 cases in the country. Dr. Kalumba says his ministry has evidence of experience on how to combat the spread of the virus, as no pupil died of the pandemic in 2020. He says the same mechanism used last year in combating the spread of the virus in schools will equally be applied this year to enhance that no pupil dies of the pandemic. Dr. Kalumba says premature closure of schools will collapse the education system, hence the need to keep the education sector running. He says there is nothing new about the second wave of the pandemic and that COVID-19 can be prevented if all guidelines are adhered to. And some parents and guardians have expressed skepticism over the move, considering that cases of COVID-19 keep going up every day, which might put the pupils at risk.
Ministry of Education, we have what I always refer to as an evidence of experience. What do we mean by this? We are coming from a background where we developed guidelines between us and the Ministry of Health. And the guidelines were sent to all the schools in Zambia, including colleges of education, which spelled out, the approaches that the teachers and the pupils were supposed to follow during COVID. And we are grateful, we are satisfied that from those guidelines that we provided, we achieved, we recorded success. No child died, no student died. And it was the same COVID. Yes, it could be another spike, but it's the same COVID. No one died. And for us, we are going to use the same background. We are going to use the same formula to ensure that the environment is conducive to learning and teaching. And so for us, whether it is the third spike or the second spike, we are not very much worried because we have an evidence of experience. Where we are coming back, we recorded success. And we know we are going to achieve the same success even this year. There's nothing strange about this second wave, which should even, make our people get so much, distracted and discouraged. Please have the belief in the education system. Our teachers, our men and women on the ground have done the best. Go to my bus stops. There's no order there. So let us not bring what we are seeing outside to what is prevailing in the schools. In school, we have order, and that order will be maintained. We shall comply with what the Ministry of Health has already provided us, and that is our evidence of experience. So there's no harm. Our parents must not be, anxious of tomorrow. God is in control. The teachers are going to do the best they can for the betterment of the nation. So all is well. All is well. 18th January, we are opening the schools.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has set Monday, the 4th of February 2021 as the date on which to hold by-elections in Vubwi Town Council Chairperson and the Miputu Ward election in Masaiti District. The by-election in Vubwi is as a result of the death of the council chairperson, Joshua Daka, while vacancy in Miputu Ward was due to the resignation of the area councillor, Mr. Mabeti Hosini. ECZ has since urged aspiring candidates in the by-elections to lodge in completed nomination papers and attested statutory declaration forms before a magistrate, local court magistrate, head of a government primary or secondary school, principal of a college, commissioner for oaths, election officer or returning officer on the 14th of January 2021 between 09 hours and 15 hours. The commission further says aspiring candidates for the council chairperson by election in Vubwi Town Council should take along with them 15 supporters who must be registered voters in the said town, who should also be in possession of a green national registration card and a voter's card. This is according to a statement made available to Camnet TV News by ECZ Corporate Affairs Manager Patricia Luhanga. And moving on in the news, Governance, Elections, Advocacy and Research Services GEARS Initiative Executive Director MacDonald Chipenzi has called on the Patriotic Front Party to reveal to the public the details of the people who are behind the payments of illegal salaries as announced by Party Secretary General last Saturday. Mr. Chipenzi tells Camnet TV that the matter regarding the former ministers is of public interest, hence the need for the PF to be accountable and transparent on who the funders are of the debt that was cleared. Mr. Chipenzi notes that Financial Intelligence Center report has cited many politically exposed persons to be attached to terrorism groups, hence the worry. In this regard, Mr. Chipenzi is concerned that the money used to clear the outstanding balances for these ministers could have come from terrorism groups which can put the country on fire. Mr. Chipenzi has also questioned why such important information concerning the public could come from a party official and not the secretary to the cabinet. He has called on the PF to tell the nation where the money came from. Last Saturday, Patriotic Front Chief Executive Officer Davis Mwila told the nation that the party members have contributed resources and cleared off the bill for the Patriotic Front former ministers who illegally stayed in office when Parliament was dissolved in 2016. Mr. Mwila has also stressed that the payment were only done for those who are still PF members but could not avail the nation with proof of payment and who exactly the finances were.
We are not convinced by the statement that the Secretary General for the Patriotic Front has made, that the well-wishers that have paid off those ministers that have failed to pay the debt that they owe the Zambian government for illegally staying in power in 2016, that they will not be disclosed. We must be very transparent. We must be accountable. And if those people mean well, if those people are not involved, they have done this in good faith, there's no way one can hide their identity. We are in the world of terrorism financing. We are in the world of money laundering, and we cannot just keep quiet when such things are happening. The Finance Intelligence Center has reviewed a lot of things where politicians have been connected to money laundering and the other illicit financial flows. And this is why we are saying the Secretary General of the Patriotic Front must be magnanimous enough and tell the Zambian people who are those financiers. Are those people who are connected with government, to government, for favors, for contracts, or these are just mere well-wishers to the Patriotic Front? Who are they? We want to know them. For one to go to lose a cool 4 million kwacha at a go, that must be a serious well-wisher indeed. And we want to know them. There's nothing to hide.
Government, through the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, has commenced the distribution of relief materials to more than 90 families in Sinda and Nyimba district in Eastern Province, whose houses were brought down as a result of heavy rains. Eastern Province Minister Makabi Zulu and the DMMU team have since visited the two districts to inspect the damage. Mr. Zulu assured the affected families of government support following the situation that has greatly affected their families. More in this report.
The ravages of climate change has continued to cause destruction in all corners of Zambia. In Sinda and Nyimba district in Eastern Province, more than 90 households were brought down after heavy rainfall. Eastern Province Minister Makabi Zulu and a team from the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit visited the districts in order to inspect the damage done.
Ngaboma timu ya vyeni litraki ukuza kukuma kuosaka ile takuva kulya ngakanyuzula unga wafu wanaka bakulya kwa wanongeza so tuone matinga ya vile ngapa bakulya papantawi ino timu tukona tumara tatu wele kapuna na simenti tuone matinga ya vile kwa mbira tia.
These are words from the affected people.
Around 0.2 hours. But it's important manzi so they will tachoka. So munganda mwenze 6 bags ya urea singulika mwenze na ma green label 4 ya milisi yonse mbira bumanzi and then ipo voila hivi. So vikulu tyava kudandaula ako ni milisi na fertilizer kozi milisi erandira kale dia patembekezera kuika yapa urea.
And DMMU team leader had this to say.
As a quick response, DMMU has dispatched relief materials to ensure that those households which are affected are mitigated in terms of their livelihoods. We have brought meal, we have brought roofing sheets, we have brought cooking oil and carpenter, and also we will be working on the bridges which have been washed away. In Sinda district, as you saw, on the ground we had 41 houses which were affected, and even for those houses actually in terms of response we are going to provide roofing sheets so that the households are actually helped.
Later, the provincial minister paid a courtesy call on Chief Ndake of the Nsenga-speaking people in Nimba district and also inspected the Msima bridge that had been submerged due to heavy rainfall. Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Eastern Province.
We take our first set of commercials. Do stay with us as we have more interesting stories lined up for you.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Alamwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets. Oracle Pure Glycerin.
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Dr. Bigron, musayibala komutienda okuni gift na land. Uchitenkubeti uibise mojo basayone. Oh! Mwina moshi, nakuletera njinga. Latest ina rufesi gear na mawaipa.
Difficult chidi ashidi njinga. Liam 19 pendef kondo. Transport, we got it.
Nanga phone for communication. Ipuzi sana chizungu. Yeah, you see what I mean?
It's a camera, difficult.
It's communication. We got it. Indemoni! Powerful system ndimba X-Buzz.
Mufumile kukalale. Na mnaimo muli bankumushi. We got it. Yo Bigron, utole noleta nchemfule mungani. Ngecho wachira pose na nshita 1, 2, 3, both of you. Kabala ngempang. Don't be stupid. We got it.
Take control of your tax planning. Avoid penalties and interest. Returns and payments due by the 10th of the month for declarations of the previous month's transactions are pay as you earn and skills development levy. Returns and payments due by the 14th of the month are turnover tax, withholding tax, mineral royalty tax, tourism levy, gaming and baiting, presumptive tax. Returns and payments for all withholding VAT agents is the 16th of the month. Returns and payments for all VAT registered suppliers is the 18th of the month. Submit the returns and make payments on or before the respective due dates to avoid penalties on the late submission of returns and payments of taxes. Further, note that VAT tax invoices for all business-to-business and business-to-government transactions must bear the tip-in of the buyer without fail. Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
Monday, 11th January 2021 on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chilua as he hosts a vibrant, young, creative, self-motivated leader, Mulenga Sata. You can participate on the program through phone calls, text and Zoom. Camnet TV, not just another channel. "2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television. For non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage, Zambia needs Camnet television. For national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia, watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on GOVT and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. Self-proclaimed Patriotic Front PF National Commander Innocent Kalimanshi has denied ever defaming Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo. This was when he took plea before Magistrate Felix Kauma at the Lusaka Magistrate Court Monday morning. Kalimanshi is alleged to have on the 8th of November 2020 published defamatory words against Mr. Kampyongo. More in this report.
There was tight security this morning at the Lusaka's Magistrate Court, with officers seen in all corners of the court premises, ensuring that the law is maintained as they are waited for Innocent Kalimanshi, a proclaimed PF National Commander. As routine every time Kalimanshi appears before court, officers are always present to secure the place. However, the officers who came as early as 07 hours today, the 11th of January 2021, seems to have gotten tired before his appearance and left the court premises, only to have Kalimanshi, who has been accused of defaming the Home Affairs Minister, appear before court around 11:30 hours for his plea before Magistrate Felix Kauma. Kalimanshi, who is alleged to have published defamatory matter against Mr. Kampyongo on the 8th of November 2020, has pleaded not guilty before Magistrate Felix Kauma. In this matter, the accused, who is a businessman of Lusaka, is facing a charge of libel contrary to the laws of Zambia. The alleged defamatory matter affecting the Home Affairs Minister was in a form of a WhatsApp message in which Kalimanshi alleged that Mr. Kampyongo, the Home Affairs Minister, sent him to start insulting Mr. Kelvin Sampa after he got annoyed when the president dropped one position from him and gave it to Mr. Sampa. He went on to further allege that the Home Affairs Minister, Mr. Kampyongo, gave instructions to the police to deny him police bond the time he was arrested for an offense of assault, and that the minister took a sack of sausage to Mr. Msonda, the criminal investigations officer. Kalimanshi had further accused the Home Affairs Minister of sending people to kill him whilst he was in Johannesburg, South Africa. His matter has been adjourned to the 19th of February 2021 for commencement of trial. Kalimanshi also faces an offense of assault before Magistrate Tandosa Chabala. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A Lusaka High Court judge has expressed worry at the increased number of young people being convicted and sentenced to prison on serious crimes. Judge Gertrude Chawatama has called for serious introspection on how to combat the growing trend, stating that if left unchecked, the country's young generation will end up in prison and only leaving the old to preside over the country's growth. She has since encouraged parents to take control of their children and bring them up in ways that they may not find themselves in prison. And Zambia Brigadier General Apostle Vincent Mwenya from the Zambia Army says the church has a serious role to play in instilling good morals not only in the young people but the entire citizenry. The duo was speaking during the official opening of the 2021 criminal session at the Lusaka High Court. More in this report.
4,260 cases out of 4,676 cases were cleared in 2020 by the court, now having 2,816 inmates in the correctional facility. As of 11th January 2021, 187 inmates are awaiting deportation, while 113 are yet to appear in court. Correctional Facility Lusaka Regional Commander announced this at the ceremonial opening of the Lusaka High Court Criminal Session for 2021, held under the theme Faces of Justice. The correctional facility gave the Lady Justice Gertrude Chawatama an update on the correctional facility status. And speaking at the same event, Justice Chawatama disclosed that she was going to engage the Director of Public Prosecutions on inmates who are yet to appear in court and the Home Affairs Ministry concerning those inmates who are awaiting deportation. However, she has lamented over the increase of the number of juveniles that are being recorded in correctional facilities. She has advised parents to play a role by ensuring that their children remain law-abiding citizens.
And surely, with over 4,260 cases, the walls of Jericho did fall down. Now is the time to deal with the few cases that were left in backlog, and then we will start to rebuild, and we will adopt the Nehemiah strategy.
Meanwhile, the guest of honor, Brigadier General Vincent Mwenya from the Zambia Army, has urged the church to play its role in the country.
And the church has the mandate, and instead of meddling ourselves in other things, we call upon the church to get back to the drawing board. It says, seek counsel of men who will tell you the truth about yourself, even when it hurts to hear it. Mere commendation will not bring the improvement you need. Therefore, I appeal to all our judges in the Republic of Zambia that you should always be crowned with just God's justice and tell the truth to those who seek counsel, even if it hurts them. I wish you all the best as you begin this.
Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Youth in Action for Disability Inclusion in Zambia says political violence has been hindering persons with disabilities from participating in elections and governance issues. Institution Director Ian Banda has told Camnet TV News in an interview that there is need for political parties to consider enacting policies that will protect persons with disabilities as they participate in politics. He says persons with disabilities are the most affected when there is violence, as they are unable to physically defend themselves. Mr. Banda has since called on political parties to consider adopting persons living with disabilities on their party tickets. More in this report.
Political violence has continued to hamper the development of many nations, as many lives are lost while properties are destroyed. The effect that political violence causes can never be ignored, as it leaves a permanent scar. This is why persons living with disabilities have for years shunned from participating in governance issues for fear of losing their lives. However, Youth in Action for Disability Inclusion in Zambia is calling on political parties to enact policies that will protect persons living with disabilities as they move from their hiding shadows to publicly lobby for participation in governance issues.
So as the Youth in Action for Disability Inclusion of Zambia, we are calling for all political parties to adopt persons with disabilities. We feel it is the duty by all political parties to take this issue concern and also ensure that in all political parties they have got policies that will enable the protection of persons with disabilities as they are participating in the issue of politics and governance. Issues of violence has been the main challenge that hinders persons with disabilities to participate in politics. We feel it's the duty and responsibilities by all political parties to ensure that they strictly ensure laws that will protect measures for persons with disabilities to participate in politics.
And while the COVID-19 pandemic has torn the walls for a second wave, persons with disabilities remain greatly affected by the pandemic, as social distancing is nearly impossible for them.
As persons with disabilities, we are deeply concerned with the fact that we are the most affected persons with disabilities that can be affected with the virus. One of them is the physical barriers that hinder persons with disabilities to access hygiene facilities. The second one is on need to touch things like wheelchairs, which hinders persons with disabilities to be more prone to be inefficient to coronavirus. However, the issue of enacting the social distance has been also the challenge towards persons with disabilities, especially persons with disabilities who have got a blind disability, who require a personal assistant. Our appeal is to the Ministry of Education to come up with strict measures and policies to ensure that persons with disabilities who are the most affected to be protected against this COVID-19.
Disability is indeed not inability, and the need for persons living with disabilities to add the voice to the governance issues remains a priority for the growth of the country. Prudence Chota for Camnet TV News.
A 31-year-old woman of Lusaka's Kanyama compound wants to end her marriage with her husband due to emotional and physical violence being minted on harm. She explains that each time her husband consumes alcohol, he violates her, and on Sunday, 10th October 2020, he beat her up with a wire. The mother of twins tells Camnet TV News that her husband does not leave money for her household needs, thus subjecting her and her children to hunger. She says she has been enduring violence for 6 years now because she has limited survival means. Hence, she is in need of help to enable her to start a business and be able to take care of herself and her children. More in this report.
Figures from the Zambia police indicate that cases of gender-based violence (GBV) increased to 7,640 countrywide in the third quarter of 2020, compared to 6,788 recorded during the same period in 2019. However, mitigating the vice has proved to be a challenge as mechanisms to safeguard the plight of victims are limited. Hence, most people, especially women, endure the abuse, just like this woman based in Lusaka's Kanyama compound has been doing. All you need is a single day to live in a community like this to understand how people are suffering and traumatized by numerous problems. Her husband has been beating her to the extent of whipping her with a wire, despite failing to fulfill his responsibilities to take care of the family. She is calling on relevant authorities and well-wishers to help her with capital so that she can start a business in order to fend for her children. And then
in a church quite no among a party, but I saw the kind of picture of Misia Chevana, but Casal Semutabana, or the kind of fair. Then when I tell and then the vote in a Pesaco, when times I go vote cheap, the vote in Sungiravana, the Havana than fair. When you Bamanga, me petty tones. One on my vote and my paper check. My Jacudiva and Copa Matamanga, Mama Pomos, German Pasaco porridge.
Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights Operations Manager Frederick Riteta is concerned that GBV cases have continued to escalate.
As I'm speaking now, say that they get back to court and a divorce be granted. She goes the either way. Let her find some well-wishers to assist her because she's a mother of twins. She can't stand on her own. May the well-wishers come on board to assist her.
Notably, Zambia has enough laws to regulate GBV. However, enforcement remains a problem. But what can be done to combat the vice? Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The Anglican Church has pledged to continue enhancing government programs through the provision of healthcare and education services to the citizenry in addition to spiritual guidance. Diocese of Eastern Province Zambia Bishop William Muchombo says the church is also focusing on the nation's unity as the foundation of growth and development in every aspect of life, calling on everyone to speak messages of peace as the country goes to the polls this year. The bishop made the remarks when he ordained two Anglican priests, Father Emmanuel Ngoma and Bernard Piri, in Petaoke yesterday. And Petaoke Central Member of Parliament Doris Ilia has applauded the church for championing peace in the country. Ms. Ilia has also urged the newly ordained priests not to practice partisan politics but always work with and support the government of the day. Ms. Silia also reminded residents of Petauke to stick to COVID-19 health guidelines set by government. She said the district has so far recorded 29 active COVID-19 cases out of 34 tests as of yesterday and urged people to mask up, wash their hands, sanitize and avoid public gatherings to stop the spread. This is contained in a speech read on her behalf by Petauke District Commissioner Velenasi Banda.
We believe as a church that we need to carry out a holistic ministry in ensuring that these programs are carried out in the country. We know very well that government alone cannot do everything. And as a church, we feel that we can partner with government in carrying some out of these things. So we are happy to partner with government on these programs.
Erika Chagwalungu recognizes and appreciates the partnership that the church provides through the various social services of education, health, environment, provision of clean and safe water, Abenadi, Nava Emmanuel. This empowerment can only come through government. Don't engage yourselves into politics. You need to support government of the day for you to assist your church. As a district, we have continued to record positive cases for the past 2 weeks. State that lack of compliance to the state public health guidelines through the Ministry of Health have highly contributed to the fast and widespread of the infection.
We take our second set of commercials. Do stay with us as we have international and sports news. Don't go away.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
The Cowbell Choco formula has been stolen. Get it back at all costs.
Tasting Cowbell Choco gives you the get up and go to be at the top of your game. Now with Vitality Plus Iron. Great tasting Cowbell Choco, a creamy chocolatey drink that helps give energy to get up and go.
Can I have that meal over there? And I really want that crisp, fresh apple taste from the garden. Can I have happy apple?
I think I'll have my big bite 2 meal with happy waziwaka. Give us your
Enjoy an appetizing big bite meal with an happy drink of your choice. A meal is not a meal without an happy drink. And now introducing Happy in a can.
Monday, 11th January 2021 on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chilua as he hosts a vibrant, young, creative, self-motivated leader, Mulenga Sata. You can participate on the program through phone calls, text and Zoom. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello, have you heard about NAPSA? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, NAPSA is here. Advertise on NAPSA between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
NAPSA, allowing your business to grow.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, a number of Ugandan government officials and ruling party members have had their Facebook accounts shut down as the internet giant accuses them of manipulating public debate ahead of key elections. Residents in the Eastern African nation will cast their votes on Thursday to elect a new president and parliament amid a tense and bloody electoral campaign with incumbent President Yoweri Museveni, 76, facing a stiff challenge from the pop star turned politician Bobi Wine. Museveni's senior press secretary Don Wanyama, who saw both his Facebook and Instagram accounts shut down, accused the company of seeking to influence the election. Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development Frank Tutubweze also accused the social media platform of targeting Ugandan accounts and urged Facebook to unblock them. The 38-year-old opposition candidate, whose real names are Robert Sentamu, has fired up the imagination of many across Africa as he tries to unseat Museveni, who has deployed the military to prevent what he sees as opposition attempts to create civil unrest that could cause regime change. Here's a flashback on events in Uganda, which goes to the polls on Thursday.
With Uganda's general election fast approaching, attacks against members of the press by security forces have caused outrage. Journalists, especially those covering opposition candidates and protests, have been arrested, beaten, and had their equipment confiscated or destroyed. A press freedom watchdog says it has documented over 100 attacks since November.
These have been deliberate attacks where some officers have even warned journalists to shoot at them and have gone ahead to shoot at them and occasioning injuries on them. This has never happened during an election in Uganda. We've not had a time as now when the deliberate attacks are not even condemned by the security leadership. The president has severally come out to attack the media as working for foreign agents, as being a partisan, as promoting interests of the political opposition in the country. And of course, the voice of the president is so strong that it pushes the security forces to act immediately.
Activists say security forces have enjoyed impunity for crimes against journalists. In December, the government decreed that only reporters accredited by the state-backed media regulator will be allowed to cover the elections due on January 14.
We saw the emergence of new directives by the Media Council shortly before elections, asking all journalists to register and seek for permission to be able to cover elections. And this applied to both local and foreign journalists. We also saw the deportation of some foreign correspondents from the country. That has not happened before, and some were blocked at the airport as they came to cover elections.
Opposition presidential candidate Bobi Wine on Wednesday resumed campaigning after a break. Uganda has banned campaign rallies in major urban centers, citing the coronavirus.
We now get into sports news. And in sports news, Zamfoot Sports reports that Forest Rangers thrashed bottom place Kitwe United 4-0 to move into the top 4, while NAPSA Stars edged into the top 4, while the Prison Leopards to the end of the Correction Boys 4 matching winning streak on Sunday as action from week 12 of the MTN FAR Super League concluded. At Levi Mwanawasa Stadium, Forest Rangers welcomed Whipping Boys of the 2020-2021 season, Kitwe United, as they were aiming to break into the top 4 with a win. In the second half, Forest Rangers came back a little more determined to finish off the match as Quadri Collar doubled the lead just 5 minutes into the second stanza with a fine finish, and it went to 3-0 4 minutes later as Moses Lolozi put the ball in his net amid pressure from Lamek Silwaba. Kola completed his brace with an easy tap in the additional time to seal what was a dominant performance for the tenant Chilumba toured outfit, who moved up third place on the log with 19 points from the 10 games that they played and just 2 points adrift of the log leaders, sensational Zanaco, despite playing 3 games less. Kitwe United, on the other end, remains rooted at the bottom of the log with 4 points. That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. TIZ demand for fired Health Minister CHILUFYA'S prosecution. PF CADRE innocent KALIMANSHI denies ever defaming AILING Home Affairs Minister Stephen KAMPYONGO. Government maintains 18th January 2021 as date for reopening of schools amid protests from parents. In international news, Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, through his senior press secretary, accuses Facebook of seeking to influence Thursday's general election. And in sports news, Forest Rangers move into top 4 as NAPSA Stars edge Prison Leopards. The Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of John 13 verse 35, and it reads, "By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Liseli Kanyanga, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.